Hi, I'm Latrina Patrick with Vision University. That is my online platform that's designed to help you become the best version of yourself. And we do that by using a mind, body, and spirit approach. We are going through the ABCs of grant writing. We are making our way through the alphabet to offer you some really wonderful tips to help you become more successful and more effective as a grant writer. And we have gotten up to the letter M. And we are going to discuss why it's important to have measurable outcomes, or I should say measurable objectives. I'm getting ahead of myself. And with the measurable objectives, what that means is, well, first let me say that it's really a critical piece of the evaluation plan. And when we discussed the letter E, it was about the evaluation. And so to determine your success, you have to have a really effective evaluation plan. And the evaluation plan is connected to the goals and objectives that have been specified in the grant. And so that all of that is connected. And so when you're talking about your objectives, these are the things that are going to determine your overall success, and they are directly connected to the stated goal. So when we're talking about the goal, we're talking about that big pie in the sky vision. And we talked about goals at the letter G. And the objectives go along with the goals. So if the goals are the big pie in the sky vision, the objectives are the little steps and the actions that you take to accomplish those overall goals. So that's where the objectives come in. And so the objectives, they spell out exactly how you plan to accomplish your goal. If you say we want to improve graduation rates, then your objectives are going to be each of those steps that really demonstrate how you're going to do that. After school programs, or weekly testing in their areas that they are failing, or whatever that looks like. Okay, so it's just the small steps you're going to take in order to get your overall goal accomplished over a period of time. So they must be very clear and easily trackable. So this is how you're going to determine if you've done what you said you were going to do. So you have to be crystal clear about what that looks like. And so if you've been in the writing world for any period of time, you've probably come across the acronym SMART objectives. And this is just a really great way to help you ensure that your objectives are indeed measurable. So the acronym is SMART, and the S is for specific. And that just means being clear about what you plan to do, very specific about what it is you plan to do. And when it comes to being measurable, it just makes it easy to determine when the objective has been met or your task has been completed. So how are you going to measure that you've done that you say you're going to have weekly tutorial sessions with the students in the program, or however you define it? So how are you going to measure that? You're going to measure that you did that by being very specific. And we're leading up to an example. So I'm going to make this very clear for you in just a moment. So the S is specific, the M is measurable, the A is attainable. When you're writing your objectives, make sure you're not indicating things that are just going to be too impossible for you to do. It needs to be realistic, and attainable to me and realistic they kind of go hand in hand. So if it's something that you can attain, it's obviously something that needs to be possible. And it also needs to be something that's realistic if you're going to be able to attain it, right? So can it realistically be completed with the resources that you have and within the time frame that you're specifying? That's a really big thing about being realistic. Like, can you get it done over this specific time period? And that is a huge factor in deciding if you're doing something that you're actually able to do. And then the T is for timely. Time frames must be designated. They refer to the duration, the frequency, and or the time span. So the way you're going to measure that is that you're going to be able to look back and determine that you did A, B, C, and D over this time period. So I'm going to show you what that looks like in a real example in just a second. We're leading up to that right now. So here's an example of an objective, a SMART objective. So if we're talking about after school programming and improving academic rates or high school rates or whatever we're trying to do, here's an example. So you would say that your objective is to provide academic instruction twice a week to at least 50 students in grades 3 through 5 from September 1st, 2021 through April 30th, 2022. So that is very specific. We know exactly what we're going to do. We're going to provide academic instruction. It's measurable. It's measurable because we have very clear indications of what we're going to do. We're going to meet twice a week. We can go back and measure that. We're going to work with 50 students in grades 3 through 5. We can easily measure if we did that. And we're going to do it over the time period of September 1st through April 30th. So depending on the scale of the program and the resources and the capacity of the organization, that's probably attainable and probably realistic. And so the timely part is those dates. And so one key that I always give when it comes to writing objectives, if you have keywords in there, every objective you write should have the phrase "at least" in there. So that's going to lead you to putting something very specific. So you have at least 50 students. That gives you room to work with more students in that. But at a minimum, you need to, what's realistic is that we know we can work with at least 50 students. We may be able to reach 75 or 100. We don't want to overpromise. So let's just scale back a little bit. And what we're going to be judged on is that we at least serve 50 students. So that's a really simple example of how to write a SMART objective. And they really are simple. Don't overthink it, but just using that acronym, it helps you to hit every area that you need to hit in order to have written the strong, measurable objective. Now, if you like more grant writing tips or more information around this area, I want you to make sure you subscribe to my email updates on my website at visionuniversity.com. You're going to be able to access a free ebook if you're a new subscriber. That's going to be it's going to be geared towards beginning grant writers. So that's a wonderful resource that we give just for subscribing. And you also will be finding more information about the upcoming grant university that I've designed especially for beginning grant writers. So that's going to be a really great online university. It's going to be a 4-week course that's going to really go deep into some of the areas I've been laying out throughout this ABCs of grant writing. It's going to take you to the next level to help you be successful. And you want to make sure that you are subscribed to my YouTube channel. So if you've missed any of the alphabet that we've covered so far, you can go back and find those things on the website. So I hope that you found this information helpful. I hope you'll continue to tune in as we continue to go through the ABCs of grant writing. But in the meantime, I want you to remember, create the vision for the life that you desire and you deserve, because you are the only one who can.